Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and it is time to talk about Erling Haaland. The Norwegian sensation has been linked with a move away from Borussia Dortmund this summer, with Chelsea reportedly desperate to secure his signature. They feel they're a striker away from being Premier League champions, bit harsh on Timo Werner, and feel like Erling Haaland is the man they need. But the big question is he? Well, using Football Manager 2021, I'm gonna find out. I'm sending Erling Haaland to Stamford Bridge, so let's see if his arrival can propel Chelsea to their first Premier League title since 2017. Let's go. Right, here we are at the beginning of the simulation, and as you can see, Erling Haaland is a Chelsea player. He's in the Premier League for the first time, just like his dad. He's playing in England, but Erling Haaland is at Chelsea. He hopes he'll learn a lot while he's there, and he wants to win a trophy, and is excited at the team's chances in the FA Cup. Well, I'm sorry, Erling, but Chelsea have got bigger fish to fry. They are here to win the Premier League. They've got massive players, big names, Kai Havertz, Thiago Silva, Jorginho. Jorginho's won everything in the past year. People are talking about getting the Ballon d'Or. We're here to talk about Erling Haaland. He's got a 4-year deal, 140 grand a week. Just how will he do at Chelsea? Can he be the missing link that takes them from being a top 4 team to the top 1? Let's simulate a year into the future. Let's see how Erling Haaland and Chelsea get on in their first year together. Okay, here we are at the end of the first year of the simulation, and things have gone so wrong for Chelsea that Thomas Tuchel is no longer in the job. The German has already been sacked as Chelsea boss, and that is because they haven't even finished in the top 4. In Erling Haaland's first season, even with this superstar leading the line for the Blues, Chelsea have finished 5th. They've finished below Arsenal, for goodness sake. Man City winning the title with 96 points, well clear of Liverpool. But Chelsea down there in 5th with only 64 points. They were 3 points shy of Arsenal, who snuck into the Champions League, meaning Chelsea and Erling Haaland are going to be playing Europa League football next season. It's no wonder Thomas Tuchel's been sacked. Let's have a look, maybe see if they've won anything else, just to maybe it's soften the blow. We'll have a little quick look. League Cup, they were knocked out in the quarter-finals by Manchester United, and in the FA Cup they were beaten in the semi-final by Leicester. Champions League beaten in the quarters by Manchester City. Let's focus on Erling Haaland now though. Let's check the Norwegian out, see how he's got on in his first season. 19 goals in all competitions. He's the top scorer at the club. He got more than Timo Werner, more than Kai Havertz, but he wasn't actually the best player. And N'Golo Kante, Kai Havertz did better than Haaland, but I mean, it's still been a good season. 47 appearances, he's been a mainstay in the team, 5 assists, done his little bit, helping his teammates out. Let's check him out. What number has he got? He's the number 12 at Chelsea, which is alright. It's not, who's the number 9? Tammy Abraham, isn't it? Let's have a look at how he's got on in the Premier League. 13 Premier League goals in his first season. An average rating of 7.32. So, I mean, for a man like Erling Haaland, is 13 enough? It's just shy of a goal every other game. I mean, that used to be great for a striker, but now with the likes of Ronaldo, Messi, Lewandowski setting the bar so high, these elite strikers need to be averaging like a goal a game, which Erling Haaland just hasn't done in his first season. But, you know, it is his first season in the Premier League. I mean, I remember Didier Drogba struggling in his first year, and look what he went on to achieve. Erling Haaland, in the long term, has a preference to play for Leeds. I mean, that's obviously the place where he was born, I believe, but I mean, at the minute, Erling, I think you're probably stuck at Chelsea. You've still got 3 years left on your contract, so maybe just see that out and see how we get on. Year 1 has gone quite poorly. Erling Haaland, he's settling in. He scored a few goals, the top scorer at the club. Did better than Timo Werner, which, you know, doesn't take much in reality. But next season, Chelsea will be playing in the Europa League with a new manager calling the shots. Let's simulate another year in the future. We'll see who the new Chelsea boss is going to be and see if he can be the man to take Erling Haaland and Chelsea to the top of the Premier League. I've got a feeling after this season it probably won't happen, but let's do it. Let's simulate in a year 2. Right, here we are at the end of season 2 of the simulation, and things are on the up for Chelsea. Max Allegri is the new man in charge. He's replaced Thomas Tuchel, and the Italian has taken Chelsea back into the top 4. But they still haven't won the Premier League title. They've came 3rd in the Premier League. Let's have a look at how they got on. Chelsea with 77 points. I mean, 19 points behind Manchester City. But I mean, when you look at that, 96 points. Man City are somewhat unstoppable at this point, but Chelsea, at least they are back in the Premier League. Outside of Man City and Liverpool, they've been well in front. 77 points, a good tally, and Erling Haaland has just won his first ever Premier League Golden Boot. 24 goals for Chelsea, 4 more than Mo Salah and Liverpool, to give Erling Haaland the Golden Boot. So at least Chelsea have won a trophy. Well, Haaland has. I'm sure that'll put a smile on his face. It probably hasn't. The poor lad never smiles. Maybe he did when he got his new contract, because Erling Haaland has now be staying at Chelsea until 2026. He's on holiday. He's not bothered about going to Leeds anymore. Let's have a look at how he's got on. 24 goals in the Premier League in 35 appearances. His average rating is up to 7.79. In total, he got 31 goals in all competitions. Have they won any competitions though? Obviously, Haaland's had a great season on a personal level, but have Chelsea won anything? Let's have a little look. The FA Cup beaten in the semi-final again by Aston Villa. Haaland did score. The Europa League, they haven't won that. They got beaten in the second knockout round by Valencia. As for the League Cup, it looks like it ended in disappointment early on, and it did. They were beaten by Man United in the third round. So after 2 seasons, it is 2 years without a trophy for Erling Haaland. Is he the best player at the club now? Yeah, he is. Edward Mendy got an 8.2, but he only played 1 game, so it's not really an average. Out of the players who've been playing consistently, Haaland just pips Kai Havertz. Havertz got 7.69, Haaland with a 7.79. I mean, no one came close to him in terms of goals. The next highest scorer was Timo Werner, who got 14. Gabriel Barbosa, a new arrival, he got 30. Even in terms of assists, Haaland's done alright. He's got 7, joint with Kante and Havertz. Ziyech and Ward-Prowse leading the way. Ward-Prowse getting 16 as the new Chelsea captain. But still, after 2 years, Chelsea, I mean, yes, they're back in the top 4, but they remain a long way from being Premier League champions. But will another new arrival propel them to glory? That's because Chelsea are trying to reunite Jadon Sancho and Erling Haaland. Chelsea made a £70 million offer for Sancho. Will it come off? I mean, obviously in reality Sancho's going to Man United, so this is totally unrealistic, but I mean, Haaland isn't at Chelsea anyway. Let's go into year 3. Can Haaland do even better than he's done this season, and will he have one of his old mates, Jadon Sancho, alongside him? Let's find out. Okay, here we are in year 3, and in terms of the Premier League, Chelsea have gone backwards once again. No longer a top 4 team yet again. Max Allegri has done what Thomas Tuchel done and finished 5th in the Premier League. But he hasn't been sacked. That's the main thing. Let's have a look at the league table for Chelsea. 73 points. They only missed out on Champions League football on goal difference. They were level on points with Man United, but it's Man United with a goal difference of plus 31 to eclipse Chelsea's plus 16. In terms of Erling Haaland, you'll notice at the top of the charts he's nowhere to be seen. He hasn't won a golden boot. That's gone to Patson Daka of Everton. In reality, he signed for Leicester. One to look out for this season. But let's have a look at Chelsea and Erling Haaland. But before we do that, I'm going to have a look at the cup competitions, because I've just noticed they've beaten Lazio in their most recent game in a neutral venue, which would perhaps suggest Chelsea have won a European trophy. But which one is it? The League Cup, Chelsea beaten by Man United in the third round, yet again for the second year in a row. Haaland did score twice, but it didn't matter. FA Cup, how have they done in that competition? Beaten in the 5th round by Cardiff in extra time. That is pretty embarrassing. And it's going to be the Europa League that Chelsea won. That's because they didn't make it through the group stage. A group including Paris Saint-Germain, Club Brugge and Bayer Leverkusen. Chelsea did not make it through. They were dumped into the Europa League. In the first knockout round they beat Zaraya. In the second knockout round they beat Copenhagen. Then they beat Lyon. Then they beat Atalanta to set up a final with Lazio, which Chelsea won 2-0. Erling Haaland played well in the final, but he didn't score. That was Christian Pulisic and James Ward-Prowse. But it doesn't matter, because Erling Haaland has finally won a trophy as a Chelsea player. He's now the number 9. He's got another year on his contract until 2027. He still wants to play for Leeds, so that's an issue. Let's have a look at how he's got on. Average rating down to 7.55, but he has scored 30 goals in all competitions, only one shy than he got the season prior, 18 of which coming in the Premier League. But I mean, in terms of the Premier League table, surely having Erling Haaland up front, you've got to be challenging. This is 3 seasons. He's totally settled now. He's banging them in for fun. In the past 2 seasons, he's got 61 goals, for goodness sake. Yet Chelsea aren't getting anywhere near the Premier League title, which, to be honest, is a little bit of a concern. Haaland, the best player at the club, ahead of Kai Havertz, an average rating overall of 7.7. Top scorer, unsurprisingly, yet again, ahead of Kai Havertz. Those two, I mean, together must be an absolute dream. But a dream that still isn't ending in Premier League glory. But I mean, he is still only 22. Haaland's got a few more years ahead of him, let's put it that way. What I'm going to do is, rather than just simulate a year here and there, I'm going to do one more dive into the future, 3 more years. We're going to go to 2036. Surely by then, Chelsea will have won a Premier League title with Haaland. If not, this experiment has been an absolute bust. But let's do it. Let's go to 2026. Let's see what happens. Actually, before we do that, quick look at the transfers. Turns out they didn't sign Jadon Sancho, so maybe that's been the issue. Anyway, let's do it. Let's go to 2026. Okay, here we are on the 14th of June 2026, and Erling Haaland is the best player in the Premier League, the most reputable league in world football. Haaland with an average rating of 7.8, just putting him ahead of Harry Kane. But he still hasn't won the Golden Boot. I mean, he won it in the second year, but this season he hasn't won it. He got 16 Premier League goals, which was 2 behind a regen, Vilma Posada for Manchester City. But Haaland did get 11 Man of the Match awards. But still, it wasn't enough for Chelsea to win the Premier League title. They finished 3rd with 73 points, but how have they got on in the past couple of seasons? Still, they haven't won a Premier League title. Max Allegri is still the manager. Haaland's now the vice-captain. In 2024, they finished 5th yet again. They went up a place in 2025 to 4th, and in 2026, they have came 3rd. So on that logic, in 2028, they'll win the Premier League. But I can't be bothered waiting until then, man. I've got other things to do. Let's have a look at Haaland. He's got a contract until 2029. He's got 120 goals in 211 appearances for Chelsea, which is an incredible tally. He's a wanted man, though. Wanted minorly by Paris Saint-Germain. Let's have a look at the goals he scored, and his numbers have been even better. In 2024, he got 32 goals in all competitions, 23 in the Premier League. The season after, 37 goals in all competitions. The best season of his career. Average rating for the first time higher than an 8. 12 Man of the Match awards. Absolutely sensational from Erling Haaland. And in the most recent season, 27 goals, which is a little bit of a drop off in form for a Haaland. But I mean, it's still a massive number. I mean, I don't think I'd get 27 shots on goal, for goodness sake. Let's see if they've won any more trophies in this time. We'll go to the competitions. Obviously, we know they haven't won a Premier League. They haven't won any Champions Leagues. Europa League, they won that one in 2023, but that was it. They've won a couple of FA Cups. They won it back-to-back in 2024 and 2025. So in total, in these 6 years, Erling Haaland has only won 3 trophies, a Europa League and 2 FA Cups. His arrival still hasn't put Chelsea in the Premier League picture. Let's have a little look at the table from years gone by. We'll go to the 2024 one. Chelsea finishing 5th, still 15 points shy of winners Manchester City. The next season 4th, 20 points shy of Manchester City. I mean, this is a golden year for Manchester City. They're playing absolutely out of this world. But still, the idea of Haaland going to Chelsea is that they can be competing for the Premier League. And in 6 years, they haven't done it. The best they've done is come 3rd, when in reality they've just been the best of the rest out of the other 18 teams in the league that aren't called Man City and Liverpool. Haaland's yet to be recognised as a Chelsea legend, an icon, or favoured personnel. Kai Havertz is. But he's still going to be there for 3 more years, unless of course PSG sign him. I mean, the goal return has been sensational. You cannot deny how well Erling Haaland has done at Chelsea. 300 grand a week. I mean, he's well deserving of that. Does anyone deserve that much money? I mean, he does score quite a lot of goals. It's irrelevant. It just depends on how much TV companies are paying for the rights to watch these players. That's irrelevant. That's an argument for another day. But Erling Haaland, with all of these goals in a Chelsea shirt, still isn't a Premier League winner. Perhaps Erling Haaland isn't the missing link for Chelsea. Perhaps they need more than just a Norwegian grumpy striker leading the line. We will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.